welcome to The Print. I'm Vidhi Bhutra and this is Global Pulse, a daily space to take a look at global media's take on India. We look at a wide range of media reports from original ground reports, from field correspondents to opinion pieces by renowned columnists. The protest at Jantar Mantar in New Delhi dominated global coverage of India on Monday. The demonstration demanding Union Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan's resignation over the NEET paper leak drew tens of thousands of students, parents, teachers, and professionals from across the country to Jantar Mantar yesterday. The protesters then marched towards the parliament. Reporting for the New York Times, Mujib Mashal and Pragati KB described chaotic scenes on the streets of Delhi where police and security forces used tear gas and batons to disperse the demonstrators. They write, a smiling Mr. Modi, who arrived to open a session of the parliament, tried to project an image of calm. As the crowd spilled onto the roads leading to Parliament, Prime Minister Narendra Modi did not address the protesters' demand, says the report. Citing figures based on Indian media reports, the New York Times says at least 100 people were taken to two hospitals in Delhi and more than 60 protesters were arrested following the police crackdown. The newspaper also points to what it calls the government's standard response to such protests. Mr. Modi's response has so far remained consistent with his decade old position that his ministers are not answerable to public pressure, the report notes. But this time, the scale of the protest could signal something bigger. The New York Times says the size and force of the demonstrations may reflect the raw anger among young people in India, particularly after recent student movements in Nepal and Bangladesh. And that could mean that Modi's image as a strong man may also be showing cracks, the report says. The BBC also covered the protests, describing the movement as having broadened into one of the most visible expressions of public dissent against Prime Minister Narendra Modi in recent years. The dissent intensified further after Sonam Wangchuk, who had been on a 20-day hunger strike as part of the protest, was forcibly moved to Safdarjung Hospital. Reporting for the BBC, Geeta Pandey, Zoya Mateen, and Azde Musheri write, although police had made clear protesters would not be given permission to march to Parliament, tens of thousands of students, parents, teachers, professionals gathered from early morning at Jantar Mantar and remained there despite heavy rain. The movement is being led by the Cockroach Janta Party or the CJP, and the party held its first protest on 6th June after its founder Abhijit Deepke arrived in Delhi just weeks after launching the CJP's online satirical account. But how did Sonam Wangchuk become part of the movement? A separate BBC report by correspondent Simon Fraser looks at Wangchuk's life and work. Popularly known as Sonam Sir, Wangchuk is one of the best known public figures in the disputed Indian administered territory of Ladakh and a well known name in India, the report says. And his work in education has earned him widespread recognition, including the Ramon Magsaysay Award in 2018. And Wangchuk is no stranger to hunger strikes. As the BBC notes, last year he held two hunger strikes lasting several weeks to highlight the fragile ecology of his hometown, an icy cold desert in the Himalayas, which is at the center of border disputes between India and China. Those hunger strikes were triggered by concerns over fast tracked infrastructure development in Ladakh. The center has approved several highway, power, and military infrastructure projects in the Union territory. Wangchuk has argued that these could damage the region, particularly because they were approved without consultation with local representatives. But his concerns about education go back even further. The BBC notes in the 1980s, his experiences led him to question the education system in Ladakh, which he said did not address local needs. He protested against the use of textbooks in English and Urdu in a region where most people spoke the Ladakhi language. Many of the textbooks came from Delhi and included examples that were unfamiliar to Ladakhi students, creating a significant gap between the curriculum and the realities of their lives. Wangchuk recognized that problem early on. As the BBC reports, since then he has worked with local authorities and communities to ensure that the education system addresses the unique needs of children in Ladakh. Following the police crackdown and a dialogue between CJP representatives and Health Minister JP Nadda on Monday, protesters regrouped at Jantar Mantar and pledged to continue their sit in until their demands were met. Meanwhile, Sonam Wangchuk is reportedly continuing his hunger strike from the hospital. And now Parliament is back in business. The monsoon session resumed on Tuesday after being adjourned on its opening day. Writing in the Financial Times, Veena Venugopal looks at what is expected during the 19th sitting session. There are several bills on the table. One of the most significant, Venugopal writes, is the National Honour Amendment Bill 2026, which seeks to make any insult to India's national song a criminal offence. Venugopal calls it a seemingly comical waste of Parliament's time, but one that could become a powerful weapon for the police if implemented. She also points to speculation over whether the government will reintroduce the delimitation bill after efforts to push it through in the previous session failed. And in this session of dissent, she writes, the government is also expected to bring up amendments to the Foreign Contribution Regulation Act, which governs how individuals, associations, and companies receive and use foreign donations in India. The government says the law is intended to stop funds from reaching activities detrimental to the national interest. The opposition, meanwhile, has said that it will raise the alleged theft of donations to the Ram Temple in Parliament. But there is one big question hanging over the session. Sonam Wangchuk has demanded a discussion on India's education system in Parliament as one of his conditions for ending his hunger strike. Will the government take up the demand? The government will probably pull some rabbits from its hat, especially in the last few sittings, but the events of this week will set the tone. If, she writes, student protests escalate, it will become the single biggest issue dominating the session. That's your Global Pulse for today. Thanks for watching.